repeating the words of Leviticus. For the men who were in the land before you committed all these abominations, and the land has become defiled. So if you defile the land, it will vomit you out as it spewed out the nations before you. Therefore, anyone who commits any of these abominations must be cut off from among his people. YouTube video. The stock market is crashing. He said, I expected some sell-off, but the great puking that's happening, I didn't expect, said Kim Forrest, founder and chief investment officer at Bouquet Capital Partners. Is this capitulation? I remember what capitulation feels like. This kind of feels like capitulation when everything, even the good names, are getting barfed out. Capitulation means surrender also. And it's like to hear these words that are familiar or sounds familiar in Leviticus. It's like the supernatural wheels are turning on a land, and the land must surrender to the laws of God. Okay, let me go on. Does Leviticus 18:29 sound familiar in this paragraph? Is it just me or by coincidence? Then I read the comments and noticed that some people have been untouched by the stock market drop on May 5th and 6th. So to them, it was just another stock market day, ups and downs. But other people, including myself, had anticipated this day. The words spoken in this video, which provoked the words written that I was drawn to long ago, caught my attention right away, prompting me to make this video. What is cognitive bias? A cognitive bias is a subconscious error in thinking that leads you to misinterpret information from the world around you and affects the rationality and accuracy of decisions and judgments. And this cognitive bias is happening all around us for different reasons. These days, there's a lot of this going on, leading people to horrific things, horrible, horrific things. So misinterpreting all this information that's going out into the world around you. So we have to really pay attention to what is leading us. What is leading us in this world? I wrote this between 2005 and 2006. Since the early 90s, the Lord has tugged at my heart concerning America's rebellion, and to see that rebellion is becoming completely wicked, resembling Sodom and Gomorrah before they were destroyed, as it is written, and will be at the end of the ages. I mentioned this earlier, how Jerusalem rebellion and judgment is like an echo. Jerusalem was an example for the nations to be aware of God's power. When I began to see this in America, I was led to read Deuteronomy 28, Leviticus 18 and 19, Daniel 2 and 7, in Revelations 3, verses 14 through 23, Revelation 17, 18, and 19, which led me to Isaiah 24 and 25 and other scriptures. What I got from these scriptures, there isn't anything new under the sun, because whatever has happened will happen again. Ecclesiastics. Nonetheless, when I was led to read these scriptures, Deuteronomy showed me what happens to nations when they turn from God after he blessed them. Leviticus reminds me that we still live in a sinful world embodied with sin, and sin leads to judgment and eternal death without Christ, a prepared sacrifice for sin that was sent from heaven. When we stand alone without Christ, the life giver, without him, we are left with death and broken laws. However, in Christ Jesus, there is no law. He fulfilled the law for those who believe in him. Matthew 5:17. These are things humanity needs to think about and understand.